Hi everyone, the Lone Wolf here, and welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the market in EVE Online. Now, concerning the new layout, first of all, the idea of the green up arrows and red down arrows for the prices at the bottom. It's something I wanted to do. Unfortunately, OBS only allows me to have a single color for the text, and so it's gonna have to be all white. And concerning the chat windows at the top, yeah, they don't really serve a lot of purpose at the moment. I do sort of like how they add animation, but it's really free real estate that I can use in different ways. I just need to figure out how to do that. I could add links there, I could maybe add smaller charts or do some other stuff with this. It's still in the planning phase, and so yeah, for now you'll have to do with local help, recruitment channel, EVE Radio and EVE University, some of the busier channels in EVE Online. But we are here for the market, of course, and let's start with plex. If you've looked at the bottom prices, it's not looking too good right now. Buyers 795 million, sellers 811 million, or practically that. That's a very high price. That must be a new record, I think. I don't actually recall plexes having ever been higher than that. And look at that, it's really just in like the last week or so where there was again another breakout up to 110 million ISK. So these are extremely high prices. If I look again at the 6-month chart, it's just pretty much straight up from 620 to 810 in 6 months time. And then if we go for a 1-year chart, it's straight up from 550 million to 810 million in 1 year, which is way above any monetary inflation that could be present in the game at the moment. And if you look at these spurts upward here, in my opinion, it's gotta be a bubble. I'm just amazed at how long they're able to keep this up. And yeah, we're looking at 811 million ISK for a plex at the moment. 810,994. So it's going to be some time before my plexes that I've been trying to buy at 740 are going to come through. I still leave that order there. It's just a little bit of a trigger in case something does happen. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe after Cryos, if Cryos has a similar impact to what winter expansions used to have, maybe we'll finally see a pullback. But honestly, this is just a straight up chart. To the moon, as it seems, and so the psychology is still definitely there that plex are only going up. It needs to break at some point, I think. It's just a matter of when is that going to finally happen. Next up, we'll have a look at some minerals. So let's start with titanium, and I'll write down 3 minutes for that. So here we can see this is the 1-year chart again. Titanium in a serious correction after its increase in price. Let's go for the 1-month chart here. You can see it's really in the last few weeks where it fell down from 610, and at the moment it's close to 570. So the sellers 569, 572, something like that, and the buyers 564. So titanium at least is in a pretty serious pullback. This is not insignificant. I think it was like 610 last week. Is that correct? Yeah, 612 last week, 570 this week. That's 40 cents down. That's, yeah, actually pretty damn significant. Probably 5 to 8%, something in between there. Yeah, that's a pretty serious pullback. Again, if you look at the 6-month chart over here, it's definitely correcting back, although we're still some way away from the 5 ISK where it used to be like 6 months ago. Let's have a quick look at supply demand then. We're definitely seeing supply coming in here. Look at that, 1.2 billion units of titanium coming in, 400 million here, few orders of 100 million. If you look at the demand side, yeah, you do still have orders of 500 million. Are these older, or some of them are older, some of them are still brand new, but the 1 billion unit buy order is actually a pretty old one. At least for a market like titanium, and so it does look like it's finally balancing out quite a lot more. Before this, during this increase in price of titanium that we had over the last few months, it was a pretty clear picture where you had buy orders in the billions and sell orders that remained around 1 to 200 million. So that was a clear situation we had then. Right now it seems a lot more balanced. Let's have a quick look at pyrite next. 1080 for the buyers, 1093 for the sellers. Let's have a look at the 1 month chart here. Yeah, still going down. In fact, in 1 month, going from 12 ISK to 11, so that's a loss of almost 10%. Again, some minerals do seem to be in correction territory at the moment. Let's have a look at supply demand here. 250 million is the biggest order here. 260 million is a sell order. 340 million, another sell order. 300 million here again. It seems like people are unloading their stocks of minerals right now. Because there is more supply than demand, at least in pyrite, and it's not been like that in quite a while. Let's have a look next at Mexalon. 4717, 4771. If I look at supply demand here already, you can see 100 million, 50 million, 50 million over here, 20 million, 30 million. An older order, I think, of 250 million still hanging around at 46 ISK, but it's pretty obvious here that supply has won over. And if I look at these numbers, honestly, it's sort of feeling like demand is going back down. So it might really be that Cryos is coming. And this increased demand was just people wanting to get all of their stocks going, wanting to take advantage of the pre-Cryos prices for manufacturing. And so they were trying to pump out as many battleships and whatever else they wanted to make before Cryos hits. And so yeah, we might be looking at a little bit of like a wave situation where we had a huge increase in price in the minerals. This is now correcting back. For Tech One stuff, you know, we may see another glut, and so in a few weeks after Cryos, if people start to unload their stuff there as well, we might actually see price corrections pretty much across the board throughout the mining spectrum at the moment, and then next up in the manufacturing spectrum. If I look here at the 1 month chart, it's not that drastic, but yeah, 48.60, and here at the tail end 47.40. So it's really in the last few days where here the bottom has fallen under this. So it could really be, yeah, that it's all about Cryos here at the moment. Let's have a look at the mega Isogen chart. 133 to 123, again almost a 10% loss in 1 month, not insignificant. Supply demand then 30 million, 25 million, and here 20 million, 10 million. So there is more supply than demand. It really looks to me like demand has took quite a dive here, and this is why we have this correction in mineral prices. Let's have a look then at the transitionary one, Noxium. It's a little bit of both HiSec and nullsec. Yeah, definitely a correction here as well. 730 or 710 maybe from the 5-day moving average to 650, which is 60 ISK. Again, almost 10%. I would put it around 8%. Seems to be the general trend here. 7 million, 10 million units. You're not seeing anything close to that. You are still seeing 2 and 1 million units here, but more supply than demand once again. Let's have a look then at Zydrine here. That one has been correcting for quite a bit, and it's actually flattening out at 600 ISK. If I go for a longer chart, you can see that the correction has been going on for quite a while in Zydrine, and so that seems to finally have stabilized. But it was really the nullsec ones that have started their correction way sooner than the HiSec minerals, and so now Zydrine is flattening out here. Let's have a look at Megasite, if that one is doing the same. It really tried to hold on at like 1390, but it's also going slowly down towards 1350. Yeah, maybe supply is like, they have to try to keep supply a little bit lower for stuff like Zydrine and Megasite if they want to keep the prices higher. Maybe that's happening a little bit, you know, maybe some players are trying to keep these prices a little bit higher so that it doesn't crash completely together with the HiSec minerals, because if you look at like a 1 year chart for Megasite, yeah, it's from 2000 ISK down to 1350, losing a significant chunk here, and it's actually at the bottom prices at the moment. I would almost call this invest worthy, honestly. Let's then finally have a look at Morphi, but that's probably similar. Yeah, it's pretty similar to Megasite over here. So coming from 9000 ISK and now heading towards, let's see, 5857. So again, yeah, that's pretty much like a 40% drop or something like that. Yeah, completely the opposite of Plex, by the way. So if that might be another reason, again, a lot of ISK is flowing into Plex at the moment, and this means that there's less left for the other stuff. Interesting markets. Over a general trend is clearly in corrections at the moment for minerals. Let's have a look then at Tech One ships, and I'm writing down like 955 for that. Let's start here with the Drake. the Drake over the 1 month, well, 49 million to 47 million, 46.5 million. It is down a little bit, so we might indeed see more supply here. 14 units, 24 units. Both of these are a little bit older though, so yeah, I wouldn't call it an increase in supply that's causing this. And still, this is like a 3 million margin in between this, so this is not anything too drastic just yet, or a clear trend. Let's have a look at the Maelstrom here. Again, 194 where it starts, 5-day moving average, 190 where it ends, the 5-day moving average. This is pretty much a sideways movement. If I look at supply demand, maybe a little bit more coming in here, 4.3, but 6.4 here as well on the demand side. So looks pretty balanced. People are having a little bit of a wait and see approach. They need to know what happens in cryos. I think again here the omen 10.7 to 10.4, that's pretty much a flat price. The rock here 201, 195. Yeah, you know, you could see this a little bit as a downtrend, but I think if I take a longer chart, you can see that this is a lot closer to the normal or median price for the rock here. So I again would not call this a trend or anything like that, or a correction. This is just normal variations in a well supplied market. Talos going from 77, maybe 75, 20-day moving average down to 72. So that's really hardly anything to worry about, I would say. But yeah, the one thing that you might want to worry about is that you know that a few months ago there was this huge demand for minerals. All of these minerals must have gone somewhere, and I would suspect that it has gone into manufacturing of especially larger stuff, maybe capital, super capitals as well, but probably also battleships and whatever else they could still make. And so now they're actually holding all of this back, waiting for cryos to actually maybe increase prices just a little bit because of the increased production costs, and then unload their stocks. So we might actually see something similar happen in a few weeks than what we're seeing happening now in the mineral market. Moving on then to Take Two stuff. 12.25 seems about all right. For the trade opportunities, let's have a look here. Last week we saw that a lot of them were at very high prices, so obviously in sell order territory. Absolution here correcting a little bit, but I would be, well, no, I would wait to see what Absolutions do. If you still have a few left, it might just go up just a little bit again, bouncing off the 240 million mark. If not, I would say just wait for lower prices so that you have a buy opportunity. Astarte taking off, look at that, pretty impressive. Are we really looking at 300 million? Yeah. So someone made it his move here. If you have some Astartes, this is obviously the time to sell, because supply is not there at the moment, completely dried up. And yeah, it took off at 240. So I do prefer to wait a little bit more until like 220 or something like that, when we're in the last 6 months for its lowest price. But clearly this increase in price here pretty substantial, from 240 up to 300 million now. So this is a great sell opportunity for people that have invested in some Astartes. Claymore is holding on at 250, so I would not make any rash moves here. Damnation, more interesting, finally correcting back from its 280 million mark, coming closer to 240. Doesn't really want to go below that, but maybe on the buy order side, 233. You might be able to pick some Damnations up below 240, and that might actually not be a bad investment if you look at some of these spikes. Although it's pretty obvious that the real bottom price is closer to 220, so you may want to wait a little bit. But I think if you look at this chart, it's already pretty interesting. If you look at what all the other command chips have been doing, higher prices might not be out of the question. Next up, the EOS, also correcting back from a high of 235. So you can see, I think, how quickly this does tend to turn around here. So here back at bottom prices, or close to that, 290. It's below 300 million. Could be a good idea. The trigger seems to be 280, and buy orders 266. So I do think you can pick some EOSs up at good prices at the moment. Next up, the Guardian. Again, oh, look at that. That is lovely. If I go for the 3-month chart, maybe even less. If I go for the 1-month chart, unbelievable. Yep, going from 140 to 170, dropping back down to 130, and now already working its way back to 160 for Guardians. this is straight money being made right here. These are great opportunities. And if you look at the 6-month chart, these nice spikes over here, that's really where you can make a lot of money in a short amount of time if you place your trades and your bets correctly. But at the moment, yeah, Guardian's back in sell order territory. You definitely want to try and make some money on these, I think. The Nighthawk here, a little bit on the high side, so I would not really do anything here. Slip near as well, still on the high note here, and same for the Vulture. But yeah, this Guardian, that's a very interesting chart to see how much it has moved in just 1 month. So yeah, there is still some money to be made in Tech 2 ships. I think it's in my opinion pretty obvious that this is where you can do short-term, medium-term trades and get a lot of profit from your base prices, although granted they are more expensive ships that you're actually investing in. Let's have a look at Tech 3 ships then. I'll write down 16 minutes for that, and let's start with the Legion over here. I'll go for the 1 month chart. Man, these are taking off. Look at that, pretty nice actually. 118 to 136 million. Are we seeing it? Yeah, we are actually seeing maybe a little bit of a dry up of supply here, because we're not seeing orders fill the entire screen here, but 14 and 18, that's actually still quite a lot of them coming in. So people saw the opportunity, 38 of them coming in at 139. So the bidding back down, I think, is already happening. It won't break 140. Let's have a look at the Loki, something similar here. A little bit of a jump up, but already stalling at 129 here. Yeah, 33 of them coming in at 130 million. So I think the oversupply situation, it's still here. But Proteus also a little bit of a leg up to 140, and then already starting its correction back. 735 49, yeah, maybe it's, well, but here 39.40 at 140, so it's not like it's gonna go back up above 140. And then the Tengu here was also up just a little bit. Yeah, interesting movement in the Tech 3 market. All of them went up in a big gulp. I can see two possibilities for this. One, some rumor has spread or has come up that CCP might be doing something with Tech 3 ships in the near to medium future, and so some people decided, well, it's really time to stock up on this, or it's a nullsec movement, people preparing for wars in nullsec, buying up a lot of them just to start building some Tech 3 fleets, because at these prices, honestly, you'd be a little bit silly not to do them. If you can pick up some Tech 3 ships below 120 million, I do think that this might have been the time where some nullsec alliances made their move, bought a lot of them, pushed the price up to like 140, 130, something in between there. So yeah, 10 to 20 million ISK movement up, not that insignificant, but you can see from some of the numbers here, 16, 24, 25, Proteus, 70 of them right here, again 33 Lokis, and then for the Legion 38, 18, 14, very recent order. Supply is coming right back in to fill that gap, but I think this is the most likely explanation right here, that the nullsec alliance or some nullsec alliances made their move on this market, stocked up on Tech 3 ships, and we are already seeing supply coming in. So I think it'll go flat to down again in the upcoming weeks. And then for the extra material, I wanted to have a look at some of the PI stuff. So I'll write down, let me see here, 1850 for that. The reason for that is I took a trip to Solitude, and I found out that my stocks of fuel-related planetary interaction goods went up to like 1.5 billion in value. So yeah, I do want to have a quick feel of what that one has been doing. And where would I find these? Is it materials? Planetary materials. Let's go maybe first for like some refined ones, which are P1s. Yeah, look at that, biocells, definitely up on the entire month. Let's have a look here at construction blocks. That's a little bit flatter. Let's have a look at coolants then. Okay, I'm not really seeing a big leg up all of a sudden. So coolants, no, nothing too drastic here. Enriched uranium coming off of a little bit of a top here at around 8,800, but it's already correcting back. Honestly, I'm not seeing any real trends here. If you look right here, fertilizers pretty much flat. All right, let's go for some processed materials then. Maybe a little bit Something else here, bacteria down on 6 months pretty clearly, biofuels down as well. Biomass 400 to 340, so still down here. Chiral structures down, electrolytes down, up a little bit, but I'm not really seeing trends or drastic movements that I can explain all of a sudden. So all of this looks pretty much normal. Maybe the summertime is why this is going down a little bit on some of them, or flat precious metals used quite a lot, of course, so it's hard to really say here. Broadcast node, let's have a look at that. 1.4 to 1.1. Well, yeah, it's down on 6 months, but it's not like it's cratering or anything like that. Integrity response drones 1.45 to 1.3, still nothing too drastic here. Okay, pretty interesting. I don't actually think I need to see more here. What I believe, all of this was on 6 months. General trend on 6 months down. Short term, I'm not seeing any drastic movements, and I would explain this as being the summer blues in EVE Online. Obviously, there are fewer people playing. One of the easiest activities to maintain is your PI, so I would suspect that supply just stays pretty much flat. Demand is down because of the summer, and so this trend has been going on for quite a little while. But yeah, maybe activity after the winter expansion just slowly going down, and there's demand for PI slowly going down a little bit as well. But supply, it's one of the easiest things to maintain, so that might have just stayed flat, and this is why we're seeing the 6 month chart of just slowly ebbing down. But it's really nothing all that drastic. I mean, from 780k to 580k, yeah, it's a loss of 30% or something like that, but it's not like it's like the end of the world or something. Where on a 1 year chart, this is the 1 year chart, look at that, that's a lot better. If you look at nano factories, 700 to below 600, it's not like it's like it's completely cratering or anything like that, or like we have a similar situation to the Tech 3 ships that have just basically been going down for 2 years or something like that, or the mineral market where you're seeing clear movements due to the cryos release. This is just pretty much normal behavior in my opinion. So yeah, I was expecting maybe a general uptrend because of the 1.5 billion. Just must have been that yeah, I've just been gathering some pretty nice stocks of PI stuff. Anyways, that's it then for this EVE Talk, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.